So, as we end our time together on today, I want to spend my last few minutes talking about the GAP principle. Most of you should have already received the outline, the document that gives us an idea of what I call the five C's: character, chemistry, competency, culture, and capacity. These are five things that we can use to help close the gap of individuals who are falling short within our teams. Now, there are three realities for team members in a growing organization. Now, I want to just illustrate to you what a growing organization looks like. And so we have this arrow here, this up to the right arrow. It's reflecting the growth of the organization. And so then within the growth of their organization, one of the reality is we have a leader who's within the organization who is outpacing the growth of the organization. Now, leaders, it is important that we recognize these all stars, if you would, these individuals, these MVPs who are going over and beyond in their own personal growth and developing. They are becoming a better leader in the area of chemistry, competency, culture, capacity within your organization. And we must manage this growth because if not, these individuals who are all stars, who are doing well, who are succeeding, they can become distracted and easily bored with the organization if we do not manage and recognize and let these individuals know that we see that they are exceeding the expectation of even the organization itself. Now, that's one reality of team members within our organization. We also have another reality in which we have individuals who are growing at the same pace of the organization. And leaders, this is what we want. We want individuals within our organization who is growing at the same pace of our organization. These are the individuals who get the vision, who get the value, who understand the sales model, who understands the why behind the what. They are managing the chemistry on the team, their capacity, they are growing, they can handle more. These are individuals who are growing at the same pace of the organization. But watch this here. There's another reality within the growing organization. We have individuals on the team in which the organization is outpacing the leader. And this is one of the areas that we don't want on our team, but it is a reality. We have individuals on our team who are not growing at the right pace. These individuals are being outpaced by the success, by the moving of the organization. And this is a dangerous place for any individual on our team to be. People see it, you see it, and that gap is too wide in most cases for some of these individuals to remain on the team, especially if we don't take the time and to give them the necessary training, development, and the coaching that they will need. Let me just give you three indicators of a potential gap that is on your team. Three indicators of a potential gap that may be on your team. When you find yourself managing around, working around individuals on your team, that is a clear sign that there is a gap potential. There is a potential gap on your team. You're working around them. You're not giving them projects you may would normally give them because you're seeing a gap in their ability, in their capacity, if you would, to handle that project. Maybe you're hesitating to pass the ball, or you're making excuses for that individual. Maybe you hear team members saying things like, oh, that's just David. Oh, that's just Bob. That's just what he does. He's always late. He always turns the projects in at the last minute. We're making excuses for the individuals on the team. Well, that's Sheila. She just gave birth to triplets. So we got to have a little grace and mercy for her. More than likely, that's an indication that we a indicator that we have a potential gap on the team. Now, let me just give you three essentials of you and I being able to manage the gaps that are on our team. Number one, we must deal with them quickly. We must deal with them quickly. We can't run from the problem. We must run to the problem. We must run to the issue. We must move away from making excuses. We cannot pretend that the gap is not there, because watch this here, leader. If you see the gap, if you see the problem, I promise you there are other team members that sees the problem as well. So we must run to the problem, and we must run to it quickly. Here's a second thing we can do, and a second essential that we can do. Let's communicate. Communicate to the team that you are aware. Let them know that you see the problem, that you see the issue, that you see the gap. Let's acknowledge the gap that is on the team. Now, listen, our team doesn't need to know every gory detail about the problem, the conversations that's taking place with you and that team member. Is not necessary, and neither is it right. What the team member does need to know, that their leader is aware of the problem, that they are aware of the growth gap, and that they are working on the problem, that they have a plan of action to resolve that issue. And then here's a third essential to managing that gap, and probably my favorite. Give the team member every possible chance to close the gap. We owe it to everyone on our team that's falling short, that's not keeping up with the growth, that's not keeping up with the organization. We owe it to them to give them every possible chance to close the gap, even if that means we give them coaching, even if it means we provide resources. And again, this gap can fall in any one of the 5 areas of character. They may have a character problem. They may have a chemistry problem with working with other team members on the team. Whether it's a competency problem, whether they don't have the right skill sets, whatever it may be, they come from a different culture where they did things different within that organization. Or maybe it is a capacity problem. When the organization was small, they could handle various things. But now that the organization is increasing, now that the budget is more than $25,000, and now it's $25 million, you see a capacity problem. Give that individual every possible chance. Give them every possible chance to grow, to develop, to close that gap. But what if they cannot close the gap? What if they cannot come up to the